Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? Great, great, great. Before we have Pastor Taylor come and present, one of the things that I just wanted to mention here is that in Christian Fellowship Church, we believe in personal development, spiritual development, and professional development. Okay, the whole being. And so what you're seeing is just one of the things that we do to be able to get us as Christians sound. Because if we're not financially healthy, how are we going to be able to do the work of God? All right? So it starts with these kinds of training. All right? So before I get Pastor Taylor to come over, I want to make sure that I'll open up in prayer and everything else. But as you go through this, think about your own life. We've just dealt with the spiritual part of our lives. How about the personal part of it? That's what we're going to be doing today, all right, and the future that's ahead of us. So let us go into prayer. And I ask that as you go through this, don't think of it as, oh, it's just another class or just another lesson or whatever that might be. It is how we as Christians, as men and women of God, police ourselves, steward ourselves, so that we can be effective for the ministry that God has called us to. Okay? So with that said, let us pray. Heavenly Father God, I thank you this morning, this afternoon, for what we are about to go through. Lord, I ask your Spirit to guide us, give us the wisdom we need to know how to be good stewards of the resources that you give us. I pray, Lord, that if there's anything about our lives that is not of you, that is not acceptable to you, Lord, let us listen with your Spirit so that we shall be better in what we do every day to make full proof of our ministry. We love you and we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Pastor Taylor.
Thank you, sir. So I'd like to start off by saying welcome, everyone. So can we go to slide number 2, please? So welcome to Taylor for You Financial Group Financial Empowerment Workshop. So my intent today, just to throw out a bunch of information for y'all to understand what's available. A lot of tax-free strategies that we can take advantage of. So I was mentioned to Chris just a few moments ago, applied knowledge is power. But if you don't know, you don't know. So informational workshop, I'm trying not to go into a lot of details. After this, if you'd like to sit down with me and get more information on certain topics that I talked about, feel free to do so. So, next slide. What is life insurance? Life insurance is a way to care for your loved ones even after you've gone home. It's a contract. It's a contract between you and the provider, which is the life insurance company. It's a way to transfer risk. And what I mean by that is, instead of you taking all the risk about your life, you pay someone else to take on that risk. You pay a certain fee, and if something happens to you, that company pays for whatever it might be, your death, your mortgage, whatever it might be. Next slide. There are 2 types of life insurance. There's temporary, which is called term. It can last anywhere from 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, and 30 years. It's meant to be temporary. A lot of people, when they're young or they do not understand the concept of life insurance, they go for term because it's cheap. You can get a lot of life insurance for little to no money. I remember when I was in my 20s, I had $1 million life insurance policy on me, and I was paying like $24, $25 a month. And I had Edna, she had like 500,000, and hers like $19. So between both of us, we were paying less than $50 a month. Now here's the problem with that. As I got older, as the term, which was 30 years, ran out, everything went up. Because life insurance is based on primarily two things. One, your age. Two, your health. So if you have term, as that term expires, price goes up. Right now, I couldn't even dream of $1 million life insurance policy on me. It costs too much. Matter of fact, probably if I get $300,000 right now, I'd be looking at maybe $450, $500 a month. So it's better to get permanent insurance, which is the other type of insurance, while you're young and healthy. You can get a lot of life insurance when you're young for little money. So permanent insurance is something you get that once you tap into it, the premium never changes, no matter what. No matter you get older, no matter you're unhealthy, it does not change. Next slide. So, in those type of life insurances, we just talked about term, permanent life insurance, whole life. Everyone is familiar with whole life. It's been around for over 200 years. It has its good points, it has its bad points. Permanent life insurance has two portions to it. It has the life insurance side, and it has the cash value, or what you call it, a savings side. So you can get anywhere from 1 to 4% on your money throughout the period of time. In most cases, it lasts to age 100. So if you tap into it early, you pay a little money, and you there until you die, unless you live longer than 100. But if you live to age 100, guess what? You cash out. The insurance company says, thanks for doing business with you, here's a check for the face amount. Now, mortgage protection. Mortgage protection is a type of life insurance that is going to be either term or whole life or IULs or permanent insurance that you put on your home. And what it does, it pays out if something happens to you. If you passes, the life insurance company pays the mortgage company your mortgage. So that's less of a stress on your loved ones, your survivors. Now, IUL, that's Index Universal Life. That's my ultimate favorite. Guess why? The I in Index, it mirrors the stock market. It's not in the stock market, but it imitates the stock market. It's it mirrors the stock market, so you can get anywhere from 6 to 9% on your money, sometimes higher, depends on the index, S&P 500, the global market, the U.S. fundamental. So when you do that, it does so much better than whole life. Also, it goes up to age 120. So you're guaranteed to get your money. How many know anyone that lived more than 120 years old, other than the people in the Bible? Exactly. So with Index Universal Life, there's so much you can do with it. You can create a legacy. You can literally become your own bank. You can, I'll talk about this in a minute, but as that portion in the cash value grows, as being your own bank, you can take out money for buy a car. You can take out money to buy a house. Anything you can think of, because it's your money, and instead of going to the bank or the credit union, whatever, you borrow it from yourself because you're your own bank, if it's set up correctly. Matter of fact, with the Index Universal Life, if you die, you have the face value of the policy, and you have the cash value. If you die, your beneficiary get both amounts, if it's set up correctly. With whole life, you only get one, either the cash value or the face value of the policy, depends on which is higher. Now, $1 Million Baby, anyone have heard the concept $1 Million Baby? So that concept is you have a baby just born, 2 weeks old. You insure that baby, and you put a certain amount of money in there, and you continue to keep that policy active throughout the life of the child. And as the child gets older, that little amount you put in there grows and grows and grows. And then by the time they're in their 60s, they have $1 million. Now here's the kicker. Tax-free as they take out. All these are tax-free strategies through life insurance. Anybody ever heard of the Rockefellers? They capitalized on these tax-free programs. Matter of fact, they created a legacy through the tax-free program. It's called the waterfall effect. And what that is, they put life insurance, permanent life insurance policies on their entire family. And in these permanent policies, as the sums grew, they borrowed from themselves to do whatever. They lived on the money inside of these accounts. And then as they died, because these policies was referred back through the trust that they had set up, the death replenished the trust, and it just kept going on and on and on. They used the money inside, replenished through the death, through the trust. Next slide. The benefits of life insurance: income replacement, debt recovery, debt coverage, final expense. A lot of time when people hear the word life insurance, something about that, the life part goes out the window. They hear burial insurance, death insurance. That's all they hear. So they are limited to what life insurance can do for them. They think about getting the minimum amount, just enough to cover their burial. They do not think about leaving a legacy for the kids or setting up something that they could use later on in life. Let's go to the next slide. Inheritance, charitable contribution. You can do that through life insurance. So if any of y'all want to, matter of fact, if y'all wanted to, you can get a life insurance policy and use the church as a beneficiary. Hint? Next slide. Cash value accumulations, what I just talked about. Access to funds. At any time as these funds grow, you have access to it. Tax-free. Retire income supplement. You come into retirement, you got a cash build up, you can literally have these policies pay out to you every month to live off of. Final security, you know that you set, if something happens to you, peace of mind. You reduce worry. Next slide. So, let's stop here for a moment. Workplace life insurance. Who have life insurance at work? Okay. So life insurance at work is a group policy. Most of the time, you would not, let me repeat that word, you would not get a copy of the policy because it's a group policy. The company takes out a life insurance policy for the group, and it's term life insurance, so it's temporary. And when you leave that company, see you later insurance is gone. There's only a couple places that you can take the insurance with you. It's all government, federal government, state government, city government. They allow you to keep your insurance in some cases, but you still have to pay for it. Other than that, you can forget it. It's like being in a company, you're having a company car. Once you leave, you toss in those keys, and that car stays. Same thing with the life insurance. It is always, always, always good to have your own private life insurance. There is no way in this world that you can tap into your workplace life insurance. It's not possible. For one, it's term. Two, your money is not contributed to any cash value except the life insurance policy itself. Normally, it's done on the cheap side. You do not have to do a physical. You do not have to do anything. It's just a group policy that your company does for you. Limited coverage. It's not permanent. Don't have any flexibility. I want to go back to living benefits for a moment. You don't have to move anything on the slide. Living benefits. One thing I forgot. These policies has living benefits to them, such as critical, chronic, and terminal illness. If something happened to you, whatever the face value is on these policies, you could, let's say you, back up, I'm going to tell you a story. 2 years ago, had a client, I got him an IUL for $100,000. A few weeks ago, I called him up, check on him, see how he's doing, tell him I want to give him something free. Thanks for being my client. How you been doing? He said, man, I had a stroke not too long ago. Really? So, because of these living benefits, he has an opportunity to tap into his face value of his policy to live off of. You don't interfere with his cash value, only the face value of the policy. The face value of the policy will decrease, but yet he can have access to these monies while he's alive. Going back to workplace insurance again. Tell your story. One of the guys at the company that I'm working with, his auntie had workplace life insurance. She ended up getting cancer. No problem. She has life insurance at work. And she started missing a lot of work. Finally, the company said, see you, we don't need you any longer. So now, she has cancer, no life insurance, and because the cancer is recent, she cannot get insured. So now, she passes away with no life insurance. Next slide. VA death benefits. The VA has almost nothing for the veteran. If you die during wartime or what it might be, you get $2,000 for burial. Now, non-service connected, you get a little less than $1,000 for burial, and if you've been buried outside of the National Cemetery, less than $1,000 for that. Now, think about this. The average funeral is about 10 grand to 15, depending on what you're doing. The average cost for a cremation is less than $7,000, about $600. So that's not going to do much for you. State disability. If you're on state disability, you get zero, nada, nothing. So if you depend on state disability, don't. There's nothing for you. Next slide. Burial, headstones, you get transportation allowance, military funeral honors, you get a flag, you get a hand salute. Next. 529 plan. Anyone know what that is? College fund. It's limited. You can only use it for college. Nothing else. But let's read this. If you started putting $250 per month into a 529 plan, when your children are in kindergarten, it could net almost $40,000 at a whopping 0.36%. But if you put that same $250 into an IUL, Index Universal Life, would provide your child with $15,000 a year for 4 years starting at age 18. Then the remainder could grow without touching it and net $350,000 by the retirement age of 65 at a 4% interest rate. Big difference. Now, on top of that, you still got the face value of the policy. Next slide. 529 plan is subject to laws. It can only be used for education, affects eligibility for financial aids and grants, student loans, and there's nothing left after college. IULs, there's no subject to laws because it has a provision made into it where if the market drops, it stays at zero. Then as the market goes back up, everything else goes back up. You're guaranteed to never lose money. It can be used for anything. It would not affect financial aid, grants, or student loans. Why? Because it's life insurance. Next slide. 401ks compared to Index Universal Life. 401ks, there's no guarantees because how's it set up? It's based upon how much your employer puts in. It depends on how much you put in. It depends on several different things. It's variable. You pay taxes on your retirement. It's subject to market laws because it's in the stock market, so it goes up and down, up and down. Take, for instance, 2008, when the bottom fell out the market and the 401ks became 201ks. And there's no additional death benefits, and there's no living benefits. IULs, you have guarantees. It's an index, so it goes up. There's always an upside to it. There's no downside. There's tax advantages for the retirement, which is tax-free. Your principals are protected. There are no rules, additional death benefits, and living benefits. Next slide. Roth individual retirement accounts. So, anyone know what Roth IRAs are? These are accounts that you can put for retirement post-tax dollars. So, other than life insurance, this is about the only other vehicle that you can grow your money tax-free. And it gives a little example how Roth IRAs work, what the benefits are. Next slide. Index fixed annuities. Again, these are in the stock market, that they mirror the stock market. These annuities, if you want to set them up for growth, you put your money in, and these would grow toward retirement. If you're looking for income, you can set it up for income, and these annuities can be designed where it will pay you money a monthly or a yearly, however you set it up, for the rest of your life. Give you an example. Let's say you had $50,000, and you throw that money into your annuity, and you want to set it up for income. You get the money every month, every year, however you set it up, and as it depletes, you still get paid. Then once that $50,000 hits zero, you still get paid, and if it goes on and on and on till you kick the bucket. And you can send it, what's the word I'm looking for? Your beneficiary can jump in and take it up and keep it moving. Next slide. How much coverage would give you a peace of mind? If you have nothing, just think about it. What do you need that would give you a peace of mind for retirement, for your end of life, for leaving a legacy, for being your own bank? It's up to you. My company has a partnership program where you can become a team member, or you can get money just being a referral agent. And that's it. That's it. So I can give you a whole lot more details, but I don't want to bore some people, and we can sit down.
So just so you know, this is on Facebook, it's on our website, and it's on YouTube under Christian Fellowship Church.
Thank you, sir. Now, I know I ran through it, but if you have a question, come up to the mic and ask your questions. Anyone have questions? Ask away.
Well, I don't have a question. I have an understanding that I am on Social Security disability, and I've gotten letters saying that they're trying to get rid of that Social Security disability. My mom's got letters saying they're going to end Social Security disability. The president said that it might run out by 2026. The end of it, they're not sure. So Social Security is the only thing we got for retirement. So this might be another aspect of retirement if we don't have anything, because it was set in 1929 to 30s, the program to save the Depression era. That's what Social Security was set up for, and it turned into saving that era at the time. If you look at the history, and we don't know what our retirement's going to be like. 401k, I'd gotten 401k, and they said, well, if you ain't got a job, you ain't got 401k, and they took my 401k away and said, well, I got to pay taxes on it, so it wasn't any good. So 401k is not any good either. So I'm like, man, what do we do now if Social Security goes away? What do a lot of people do when they're retired? That's what I'm saying too, because I've gotten letters. My mom's got letters. They decreased hers as she got older, and she was only getting $300 a month by the time she died. She spent 44 years working. By the time she died, she was only getting $300 a month. They were taking her Social Security away, and they're starting to do mine the same way. And I'm like, what the world?
Gotcha. Any other questions? No? I was that thorough?
Good afternoon, everyone.
You can put that up if you like.
So, Pastel, I want to thank you for doing this and educate us, because I've never actually taken to look really into that, so I know very little about it. So you talked about the 529 plan versus the IUL. So if you have the IUL, and have kids going to college, so can you tap into that to pay for your kids' college? And will you have to pay that money back, and if there's any interest to pay it back?
Good question. So there's a couple different ways you can set up if you would like to withdraw money. First of all, you have to have money in there to take money out. And it's all depends on how you set it up. On the IULs, there's a minimum amount you put in there, and there's a max you can put in there. It's called max funding. If you do the max funding portion, it grows like you wouldn't believe. And when it comes to life insurance, the first few years, it goes toward life insurance. There's very little that goes toward your savings. So in answer to your question, you can tap into your IUL, the cash value, as a loan, which you get charged interest, but you interest on your own money. Or you can just take out a withdrawal. Unlike a 401k, you don't have to wait till age 59 and a half. You just take it out whenever you want. And thank you. It's tax-free. Tax-free.
Pastor, if you could go into depth about the fixed annuity, you put in the 50. Let's say that you put in $50,000 in the fixed annuity. However, you're trying to that fixed annuity is based off the index, right? Off the S&P 500 or Nasdaq.
It's like 10, 15 ones you can just pick and choose.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You're picking and choosing which index you're trying to put in. However, though, there is a cap, not a cap, but there is, just because you put $50,000 in, it has to grow, because after $50,000, let's say we have another 2008, right? It drops, the bottom drops. By the way, if we get a new 10,000 today, that's everything's on sale, so buy. But if it happens in 2008 again, like everything drops, the value of that annuity is going to drop also, correct?
From what I understand, no, because based upon the index. It just like the IUL, it doesn't lose your money.
Okay, so
But if you want me to, I can verify that and get back with you. But from what I understand, no. Your money is safe.
because I thought it was based off an index. That index is based off the S&P or Nasdaq or anything like that. Then because it fluctuates up and down. The 50,000 is secure, but the growth that you've got, that is what fluctuates, correct?
Correct.
So if you don't have any growth, if let's say, God forbid, there's no growth in 5 years, and you do set that annuity up for, to pay you out, you set it up to pay you out, in 5 years you're going to pay out that 50,000 plus the growth. After 10 years, if there's no growth, it's just another place to keep your money, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the annuity, I understand the annuity is a growth portion. It's based off the market.
Correct. Exactly. Thank you. Are we still, Aaron? Are we still on? We still live? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Quick question on the fixed income and annuity, also about expenses. Because are there any expenses charged on it, quarterly or annually?
Okay. First of all, I'm claiming I don't know everything. So if I don't know anything, I will go back, find out, and I'll get back with you. So in answer to your question, there are fees, depends on which index you choose. There are fees, it depends on when you take it out. You can set it up for 5 years, 10 years, or whatever it might be. You can wait till it mature all the way out. But it all depends on the structure. How you set it up depends on what type of fees, when you pay fees, stuff like that.
Another question is pertaining to this. It's who guarantees the money's going to be there in 20, 30, 40, 50 years? You die, the company dies, or something happens. Who's going to guarantee that the money's going to be there in 50 years? Who's going to save the money? Where's the money going to? What's it going to be planted into? What's the whole revolvery of this system to guarantee that we're going to have 50 years later when we pass, or 30 years, or however long we got left?
Okay, so insurance companies. The insurance company, let's say if the insurance company have $50 billion in assets, they have to be covered. They have to have $50 billion in an account to cover everything. Each and every insurance company. They can't guarantee anything if they don't have it in assets already.
But what guarantees that it's going to be a long-term deal? That's what I'm saying, 30, 50, 70 years from now.
Your tax dollars, U.S. government.
Say you work with a firm and they guarantee you downside protection. A lot of times it can be 2% or 3%. Now, your money will go up if the index fluctuates and is at 6, 9, 12%. You're going to get a high percentage of that. But if the market tends to fall all the way down, like you said, and is at 0%, you are still going to get 2% or 3%. Your money is still going to grow. You have that downside protection against the market. With a fixed annuity, right, with IULs. Yeah, it depends on what kind of package you have, but they definitely have those guarantees. I've just been going through all this training, so my mind is fresh.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Any other questions? Uh-oh. Here comes Mina with a question.
So I just need clarification on the IUL.
Okay.
So I know for the 529, so we did for our kids, once they graduate, we stop. Now you're saying the IUL, it can go up to age 65. So
No. You can, it's all the way you design it. You can design your IUL that you can pay for the rest of your life, or you can pay for 10 years, 20 years, however long you decide you want to, and you stop, your money still grows. If you want it to be bigger, you just keep putting money in it.
Okay. So
Let's say if you start out with $100, you say, you know what, it's not growing fast enough. I'm going to put $350. It's your choice. It's not a set amount in the IUL as it is in a term or a whole life policy. You call the shots, how much you want to put in.
But let's say I want it long term. Can I mean, when your kids are older, can they take over?
Yeah.
That's where I
You just change ownership.
Okay.
So, give you a quick example. I was sitting down with Elias a few days ago. I said, Elias, let me show you about what you're going to have in your IUL. Starting off with $100, and you just do it for as long as you want to. Because once you get an adult, I'm giving it to you, and you're going to take it over. For $100, so right around, I showed him what he have in his account around age 35, then 50, how much you can assets if you want to jump in and get him a car, and you borrow from himself, and you make sure you pay it back so he can continue to grow. And I said, so by age 65, just putting $100 in here, you have approximately $350,000 tax-free to you. So now I changed the illustration around. I put $250 in there. I said, now check this out. What did I say? That says $800,000. I said, yeah. I said, and when you get married and you have a family, when you die, which you will, your family can get not only the $800,000 plus the face value of the policy. How much would that be? That's $2 million.
Hey, just a quick question, two questions. One, just annuity. I know you used the example of 50K. Is there a minimum that is required to start an annuity?
I'm trying to remember. There is a minimum, But think about this here. You want your annuity to be used for retirement, I'm assuming. So the less you put in there, the less you're going to have to tap into. So the more you put in, so in answer to your question, there is a minimum. What the minimum is, I can't think of it right off the bat, but I wouldn't put in less than $100 a month.
What was that?
Oh, that depends on what you want. It can be a lump sum, or it can be a monthly contribution. Was that your question?
Yeah, first
Oh,
I was
I'm
thinking
sorry.
of the lump sum piece, but I guess I didn't capture it.
Okay,
It could be that or
the,
monthly contribution.
The lump sum, I have to check, but I think it's, oh my goodness. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. I don't know. I have to check.
No,
But
no, that's
I
good.
don't know.
Just, you know, we all have our numbers, like
I
you
mean,
say.
but
you know,
the number popping in my head is 25,000, but I know that's not correct.
copy. The other piece was, man, I forgot now. I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, the question I have, if somebody have a Twitch saving plan, can they convert it to URL or
I'm sorry, what plan?
Twitch saving plan?
A thrift
TSP.
saving plan?
Can they convert it to URL or the annuity?
I'm trying to, okay. The thrift saving plan, is that pre-tax or post-tax? Okay, so the way it works is, if you have monies in a pre-tax vehicle, you cannot transfer it to a post-tax vehicle. You just have to end it and then start your pre-tax vehicle. But I'm trying to remember about those thrift saving plans. So I'm going to use a 401k. Let's say you had a 401k or a 403b, which is the teacher's plan. You have money in those, and let's say you're getting ready to retire, and you got whatever the amount is, $100,000, and you want to put it into an IUL or something else. If you're not 59 and a half, you can take your money out and put it into the post-tax vehicle, but you will be subject to penalties and your taxes. It's not that it can't be done, you're just going to lose the money to do it.
So, I think it's safe to say that we all would agree that the sooner you start, the better, right? As you alluded to.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead and answer your question.
It's safe to say the sooner you start, the better. You know, especially if there's not like a lump sum of money you have somewhere that you want to just dump into the policy. So, based on, say, for someone that's, you know, that hasn't really been preparing for this point in their life, but we're here now. Out of all the things you kind of discussed, yeah, we know we got the burial piece, but out of all the things you discussed, what can someone do that really haven't planned for this moment, but yet they want to try to capitalize on opportunities that are there?
Okay. So, all these tax-free strategies are based upon you. What's your end game? What are you trying to achieve? It depends on what vehicle you use. And if you wait till later on in life to do these vehicles, you can make it work for you, but the catch is you just have to dump more money into it. That's it. So at age 25, you dump less money because you got a long term to build your cash. The older time in life, you have to dump more money in because now you have a shorter period. That's it. All right.
What I'm not understanding
Wait, hold on.
is,
After this one more question, then we're done.
what I'm not understanding is where our money's being put into and who's holding on to it, who's saving it. If I put into your company, you're going to hold on to it and save it for 50 years? Is that what you're saying to me? Where's the money going and going to say, who's going to hold on to it? How's my money going to be secured by somebody I know is going to secure it? Who?
Okay,
Is it the bank or is it who?
so in these insurance companies, let's say you have $50,000 and you put it in your bank. You're going to get 0.1% on your money. Then the bank going to take your $50,000 and invest it and make money. And the bank going to take your money and loan it to Salima at 13% interest. And you get 0.1% on your money. I'm talking about traditional banks. I was checking out the Navy Federal Credit Union Tuesday or Wednesday. I said, you know, if I had $50,000, I wonder what I can do with the Navy Federal Credit Union. And I checked out all these different vehicles they had. And if I had $50,000, they can take my money and give me 1.3% on my money. 1%! And they loan it out to you for car loans, for home loans, for all this stuff. And they make bank off your money and my money. Can you get that to her?
I was going to ask a question, but then I'll let you ask, and I can ask my question.
No, I just want to know, Pastor Taylor, as an agent for that company, what is your advice for people who doesn't have anything?
Okay. So, if we're talking about end-of-life planning, if you do not have anything, you leaving your responsibility to your survivors. If, let's say, the average burial, 10 to 15 grand. If you do not have $100 or whatever it costs for your life insurance, do your beneficiary have 10 or 15 grand to put you in the ground, or $7,000 to cremate you? It's your responsibility to take care of you. So if you're talking about preparing for retirement or whatever, take advantage of it. Don't, when you fail to plan, what's the rest of it? Now you have a little bit more information today than you had yesterday. Capitalize on it.
Thanks, Ms. Taylor. My question is, it's actually twofold. And one is, I don't know where everybody is, but is there a way to find any of these programs out there for someone like me who probably doesn't earn a lot of money at all? Which of these would you recommend to start that would do two things for me? Cover my retirement when I'm like 90 years old and still have money coming in, and also when I die, have money that is going to go to my family. That's probably where I am. Anybody else there? Okay, yes. So what is your recommendation for me to find one of these things? We got like 4 of them. We got term, we got IUL, get all those that I can start now for at minimum cost, $100, $200. What's your recommendation?
My recommendation is to get with Tailored for You. I'm a licensed broker, so I have many different companies. Mutual of Omaha, Americo, Aetna, John Hancock, the list goes on. I'm licensed in several different states. So let's sit down, let's talk, let's see what your game plan is, and figure out something for you. Something that's comfortable, something that's not going to take food off your table, and make it work.
Even if it's $25 a month?
We can probably find something for $25 a month. It might not be much, but we can find something for $25 a month, more than likely.
Yeah, I'm being facetious, but really that's where people are probably right now. I got to get something going.
So now check this out. You can be in your 30s, let's say 35. And I know for a fact because I did it this week. You can get a regular IUL, not designed the way you want to, blah, 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 blah. But you can get $100,000 IUL for about 35, 40 bucks, $100,000. And that would last for the rest of your life.
Imagine that. So the name
But,
of the game is
but if
IUL.
you get a whole life, you can probably only get no more than 40,000, maybe 50,000 for more money.
Okay. And assuming there's somebody here, like you say, Pastor Taylor, who makes a whole lot of money, right? A lot of money. So, and now you got like a huge taxable income. How can you reduce your taxable income? Does any of these help you reduce your taxable income? I know you're not an accountant or anything like that, but
Your taxable income.
in other
huh?
words, are any of these tax shelters where I could put my money in there and know that I'm not going to get, it's going to reduce my taxable income so that I have money and can I live without having to give up my money to Uncle Sam?
Okay, so we can sit down and talk, but in answer to that, you can have a trust set up for you and put everything you own named in that trust. You don't put your name on the deed. The trust owns the house. You have a car. The trust owns the car. You have a life insurance policy. The beneficiary is the trust. Everything you have belongs to the trust. Now, let's say you make $800,000 a year. Let's take that on to $1 million a year. Now, once everything is in your trust, you're not paying taxes on $1 million. You're paying taxes on $200,000 because a lot of it is named in the trust.
All right, so all of you that make a whole lot of money, the answer is the trust, right? So, okay, well,
But can I set up a trust? You have to be an attorney.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. Any other questions? You got the answers you need? Everybody's not going to plan for something, right? All right. Okay. Get with Tailored for You if you have any questions at all.
So if y'all like to sit down with me, if you have more questions, you want to talk about it, make sure you get with PJ. Let PJ know that you like to talk with me, and let's talk. Thank you for coming. People online, thank you. Oh, yes. Go ahead and cut the feed. People online,